Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode in my series of videos called I'm Playing. Today I'm playing one of my favorite games on the original Sony PlayStation, and that is Deception 3 Dark Delusion. This is a very cool and underrated game in my opinion. It has a very cool concept, has branching storylines, multiple endings, and a lot of replay value. So the basic concept of the game is you're this girl who can conjure up traps by magic and to trap and kill her enemies that are after her. So one of the main draws to this game, I think, is the trap making. You can make your own traps using different elements that you collect as you progress through the game. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. Alright, so here it is, trap element. So you have two options here. You can make your own trap from scratch, or you can choose one of the pre-made recommended traps. So I think it's more fun to make your own, so let's try that. So you have three different types of traps. You can make a ceiling trap, wall trap, or floor trap. So let's go with a ceiling trap. So there's three different types of ceiling traps. You have mega rocks, pendulums, and vases. I think we'll go with my favorite here, which is the mega rock. Alright, so you have three different elements that make up a trap. You have the emblem, the ring, and the orb. We'll start with emblem. Emblem basically defines the type of trap it is. Thunder, for example, would make it a electrical type trap. Fire would do fire damage. Cold, impact, rising, cursed, chaos, hell, and slave. So let's go with fire. Select a ring. A ring will basically enhance certain attributes of your trap. Say for example the charge ring, which will reduce the amount of time it takes for a trap to recharge in between uses. So every time you use a trap in the game, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can use it again, and this will reduce that amount of time. So next we have the summon ring, which basically summons the enemy to the trap. This won't work on all enemies, but it will work on most. You have the ring, the timer ring, sorry, which basically triggers your trap after a certain amount of time. You have the auto ring, which basically triggers the trap as soon as an enemy walks over it or past it. And the damage ring, which amplifies the amount of damage the trap does. So let's go with that. So last but not least, we have the orb. The amount of orbs you put on your trap will increase the effectiveness of it the more you have. So say if I only have 2 orbs on this, it's just a rock that burns your victim. If you have 3 or 4, it's a rock that burns and explodes. So as you can see, that's better. The more you have, the more damage it does, the more effective it is. But it also costs more if you have more orbs. So let's click OK. So in the top right, you got your description of what the trap will do. You have your damage on the left there, the amount of time it takes to charge, and stuff like that. In the bottom right, you can see how much it'll cost you in Drake. Drake is basically the currency in the game, which you use to buy the traps. So you can see I have 31,000. It'll cost about 15,000 to make the trap. So I'm not actually going to make this since I already have all the traps that I want at the moment. I have already played through the game before. You can play through it multiple times. It has a lot of replay value. And it also has multiple endings and branching storyline, which is very cool and adds to the replay value. So here next we have the equipment. This basically allows you to equip the traps that you've created. So you can equip up to 3 of each type of trap: ceiling, wall, and floor. You can see in the right the traps that I have equipped currently. If you look up here, any trap that has an X next to it is currently equipped. Things that aren't equipped don't have an X. Alright, so let's get into the game. So the game is divided up into chapters. In between each chapter you can make new traps and change your equipment and stuff like that. So I'll skip the cutscene here as do not spoil anything for anyone who wants to play the game. Alright, so here we are in the game. Right away we have a couple enemies coming after us. So if you press circle, you will have the main menu, which shows you the map of where the enemies are, where you are, and also will give you intruder data, which will show the amount of health, their defense, and different statistics as to help you determine what types of traps would be most effective against them. And then you have the trap set, which you can set one of each type of trap. You can set a ceiling trap, a wall trap, and a floor trap. Now you want to set them up so that you'll get combos. So say for example I can put the Volt Rock here, which will drop a boulder down right onto that slope there, and it'll roll down. And so I want to get an enemy trapped right down here. So if I put a Bear Claw type trap right there, it'll trap them there, and I can drop the Volt Rock on them, which would be a 2-hit combo, which gives you more points. So how can we get even more points? Well, you can take, say, something like the Chain Needle, which will shoot 7 arrows out of the wall in succession. And I'll put that right in line with the bear trap so that I get a good combo. So as you can see in the right bottom right there, you can see the traps are currently charging, and now they're all charged. So now they're available for use. See, I just trapped him in the Bear Claw. I'll drop the rock on them, and there's a 3-hit combo. Now normally I should have got a 9-hit combo there, but only one of the arrows actually hit him. Sometimes it can be a bit picky about where the enemy should be when it hits them. Alright, I missed him with that. Sometimes the camera can be a bit hard to maneuver, which is one of the drawbacks of the game. Oh wow, I've never seen that. Apparently he actually just threw the rock into his buddy there. Keep missing him with the traps. And that kills him. You get a little cutscene every time one of the enemies dies. You definitely want to avoid the enemies at all times, because you're basically defenseless except for the traps, which I actually just ran into my own trap there. In the bottom left you can see your health. You don't have much, so and there we go. Sometimes you just kind of have to predict when they're going to actually walk into the trap, because like I said, the camera is sometimes hard to maneuver. And that takes care of that one. Alright, so if we take a look at the map here, you can see there's a new enemy now approaching. You can see she'll most likely come into the door that's I'm standing right next to, so I can be ready for her. I actually should probably get this. This is actually health that's in various rooms. You can actually walk out of this room and go into another one if you want to. Some rooms actually have traps already built in, so you can get bigger combos. Trying to lead her into the bear trap there, which did not work. This is actually one of the boss enemies, so she's a bit harder than usual. And she also has a distance attack, which makes it even harder. Which means it's hard to lure her into a trap, but sometimes it works out for you. There we go. As you can see, I didn't mention before, you probably have noticed the enemy's health is in the top of the screen there. As you can see, she's almost dead, so I can just hit her with the arrow. Not quite. Alright. So you have to do a bit more damage. Let's try going into another room here. Alright, so she's on her way, so let's see if I can trap her right at the door. Let's go with the Thor hammer. Which we'll put right here. You can actually put this is a pendulum type trap. If you put it right at the door, you can actually hit them out the door, which is very cool. I'm actually going to move it back a bit because I want to put a bear trap right in front of the door, so I can have a little surprise waiting for her as soon as she comes in. So let's put that there, and we'll put the chain needle. See, I actually can't put it there because there's an object in the way, so that'll actually hit the object. So I'm gonna go here. Alright, so we should be all set. Wait for her to come in the door, get in position, and there we go. Trigger the chain needle and the Thor hammer. Oh, it actually missed. Sometimes it can be quite picky as to where the enemy is standing. As this is a boss enemy, she's not actually gonna die, she'll just run away. And there's the end of the chapter. So here it gives you a summary. It tells you how much Drake you got. I got 3,000 Drake, which will allow me to buy more traps. And 3 victims. The amount of damage was 447. And arc, I believe, is sort of like points. So you can take a look at the death file, which tells you the enemies you've killed and what they were killed with. Alright, so that's about all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I highly recommend this game to anyone with a Sony PlayStation. This is one of the best games on the PlayStation in my opinion, and one of my all-time favorite games. So I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and please rate, comment, and subscribe.